everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Social Strategy Simplified with Sue, where we break down the social media strategies of amazing leading industry professionals that are doing incredible things on social media by following the hub and spoke content framework. Whether they know it or not, they are achieving great results by actually creating less new content and leveraging the greatness that they already have. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you by featuring various people each week so that you too can apply these strategies to your business. Simplify and expand what you are doing to amplify your great work and how you're serving the world. And of course, getting business in return. Now, I'm super excited about this week because I had not previously been familiar with the work of Haben German, and she is the first deafblind woman, first deafblind person to graduate from Harvard Law School. She is an extraordinary power in the world of diversity, equality, and inclusion, and just doing so much for educating the world about accessibility. And so I'm really excited to feature her work in addition to the breakdown of what she is doing on social media to extend and further her platform and really change the world for the better. So if you are not familiar yet with Haben Germa, please follow her. Her website is habengerma.com. We'll see that right here. So definitely make sure to follow her on social media, get her book. And the great thing about this demonstration as well is as I go through what she's doing on social media, I'm going to point out a lot of the things that she is doing to build accessibility into your social media. And what I mean by accessibility, not everybody is familiar with the term, but accessibility means making people with certain disabilities, making sure that those people are still able to read, interact with, and engage with and consume your content. And we'll see some very specific demonstrations of this in every piece that Haben puts out. So in Haben's case, again, if you're not in the same industry as this person, just because you are not a lawyer does not mean that these strategies don't apply to you. And furthermore, the great example here too is that she's an author. So again, whether you are a lawyer or not, if you are an author, if you are a content creator who is creating or has created a larger piece of work that you can then break into spokes and share across the social media landscape, Haben is a great example of that. So let's dive in here. So making sure, just checking back in to where we begin, and this is a great introduction of her extraordinarily empowering story and what brought her to write the memoir that she wrote, The Deafblind Woman Who Conquered Harvard Law. So take a look at that, a wonderful woman to celebrate and share awareness of, especially during this International Women's Month and always. So read her book, share her work, get the word out. So when we think about the concept of the hub and spoke framework in social media, it does usually refer to a larger piece of content that one creates that you can then pull off into additional bits and pieces to create your social media content and simplify what you are doing cross-channel. It may also be a focus on a particular channel. So in these past few weeks, we've done a lot where people were dueling video and podcast and adapting it to the appropriate platform. And so this one is a little bit different from what we have done because, and I'm excited about that, because it is a book. And so as Haben promotes her book, she's not just promoting the book, but she's really promoting the message behind the book and why she wrote it. Her story is so powerful. She's bringing great change to the world. And by promoting this book, she is promoting that positive change. So today we're going to take a look at the first spoke of that content model, and that is her Instagram channel. So there she is, lovely, showing the book. That's one of the posts we're going to get into. But as we can see at the top, she's got her bio. She says, human rights lawyer advancing disability justice, disability drives innovation, author of The Story of Haben, the deafblind woman who conquered Harvard Law, with the link back to her website. So she's not using one of those link in bios or link trees, or that she wants to drive you directly back to her website. And there's so many schools of thought on what one should do on their Instagram account, right? But it's really about what your goal is. If she doesn't want to drive people to other sites like Amazon or particular places where you can purchase the book, or other things like events and that sort of thing, that's a great reason to use a link tree, is to drive traffic to other places. But she wants to drive us right back to her website, where you can see the amazing work that she's done in the world, that she's done with our government, that she is partnering with Levi's on to get the message out, and so that you can buy her book. And she does demonstrate on her website, and I'll click over there real quick as well, that you can buy her book on various sites. And I think it's important too for a lot of people to give this availability to know, sure, you can buy it on Amazon, but you can also find it at some of your favorite independent bookstores, which is so important in today's world to support. So she gives you those options instead of driving you to a particular place to make that purchase, which is great. So as we look into her Instagram channel, there is certainly a great variety of content here. But of course, what we can see as we dive into the posts, they're all related, of course, to her mission and message, but very much specific to promoting the message of the book and making sure people find a way to make that purchase. So if we come over to this one here, we can see her, this lovely picture of her holding the book. She gets very creative with this, right? So it's not just about creating posts with lovely images of you and your book, but really about telling a story. And what you can see as we go through a variety of different posts where she is promoting the book, each one has a different story. So it's not just what we might traditionally see with, I'm so excited my book has launched, you can buy it here, here's my story. Each of them tells a different, unique story. And it may be something that she's pulling from the book, or it may be something that she experienced in the moment. Like this, for example, she was doing an event, and she says, I signed in a few minutes early to a book talk, and the host was saying, Haben was an only child, true or false. Last year I was a Jeopardy clue, and now my book sparked a whole trivia game at the Lafayette Public Library. It's thrilling to imagine what's next. So this is just really a sweet story about her excitement of what's happening now that this book is out. It's not like a pitchy post. It's a fun story of something that she experienced. And so it's something that's relatable to us. So when we think about promoting a book that you have on social media, think about the stories that you can tell to relate to the audience instead of always being out there pitching and selling, because that's really what's going to draw people in. And the other thing you'll notice here, and this is what I wanted to point out about the great lesson that I hope we all learn about in her content, is making things accessible. And that accessibility means that if somebody is vision or hearing disabled, there are things that are put in use so that they too can interact with social media. And so one way to support that is to actually put in this type of copy that she's doing, which is photo. I'm in profile holding up my book, Haben, the Deafblind Woman Who Conquered Harvard Law. The book cover also has an image of me in profile. So what this serves is, if you're reading this and you're not familiar with accessibility, you may be like, why is this there? But what that does is, because people who are impaired, there's a device that will read this to them. And so they get to not only experience the copy that's written in the post, but they're also told and explained what is in the image, so that they too can get that experience of what's the image that everyone else is seeing on social media if I'm unable to. So that's really a beautiful thing. And I think that's, it's so important that she's really walking in that integrity and walking her talk, of course, because she experiences this as a person, and she's demonstrating this. So I'm learning a lot from following her. I hope you do as well. The other thing that we can also do is, so she's putting this in the post, you can do the same thing in what's called an alt tag on your images in social media as well, where you can put like a shorter description of what's in the photo. So really important to make sure that what you're doing is accessible and seen by more and making an impact on more people. So as we scroll through a bit, so again, there's of course a variety of content here. So some other things where she's partnering with Levi's, making it fun. Who wore it better, me or my pup? So fun. We got over here another video on that same campaign that she's doing with Levi's. The book is showcased here as well. So this is another great thing that you can see when people are launching books, is if you can build those joint ventures, those partnerships with brands. And, a lot of us, again, people might say, oh, look, I'm not going to be able to get a partnership with someone that big. That's okay, but maybe you can. Don't doubt yourself. But even if you can't, doing these sorts of joint ventures at whatever level is a great way to help one another increase visibility. So if there's somebody out there that can support you in launching a book, bringing a very important matter to awareness, find those people, because there's great synergies in those social media partnerships. And then there's another one here that I want, this one, the next one. So this one as well. So think about also, if you're an author looking for creative ways to promote your book, book clubs. We can do these things virtually these days. Again, another potential partnership. So here she was featured by Stephen Curry's book club. Again, these examples are not to say, I know all these excuses that we all come up with, right? As I mentioned yesterday, sometimes we'll say, I don't have that impactful of a story, so I couldn't do that. Or I don't have a celebrity who's endorsing me, so I can't do that. So let's stay away from the I can'ts, because these are demonstrations of things that are possible for you as well. But even if it's not at the celebrity level or brand partnerships like someone like Levi's, think about the local businesses, clients, people that can support you, that you can support one another in that growth and synergy. So the partnership does not have to be celebrity. The partnership just has to be powerful and impactful and something that's meaningful for you, so that the two of you together can use social media in a way to be of service and make that impact and spread that awareness. So a great opportunity here, doing this book club, getting people involved, and having that conversation along the way. So again, she isn't doing sales pitches. She's telling stories. So in this case here, Steph Curry is reading my memoir. She's excited. I was born in Oakland, grew up never imagining my work would be celebrated in this way. I'm deeply honored that his book club will read the book. So again, no pitches, no selling, telling stories that people feel her excitement. People know she's on an impactful and powerful mission. And when you go back, and she doesn't even do the link in bio, right? So I think a lot of people on Instagram, most people on Instagram that use it actively really know that. But so many people feel obliged to place that in their post. Link in bio. We want to make sure, go look, don't forget to click that link I'm trying to get you to go click on. It's not always necessary, right? And so she's demonstrating that in a great way. She's not pitching, she's not selling, she's not even using a link in bio. She's using a few hashtags in a smart way, specific to her, highly general, specific to the geography, and some of the terms in the conversation that she's having in the post. And again, image description, so that accessibility resources tools are reading to the visually impaired person exactly what is the image in the Instagram post, which is so important. So just a couple of examples. So like I said, use that book as a content hub. You don't always have to just be selling or pitching. So I hope this walkthrough on Instagram gave you some ideas around how you can do things in partnership with others, tell some stories that come from the book that really can align with others, so that the people in your audience and community are excited for you, align with your message, feel like they're included and part of it, and also try out some of these accessibility tips. There's no reason that for most of our businesses, we should not be thinking of these other people who may not find our content accessible. So give that a try. Next time you're doing a post on social media, put something that describes the image, especially if the disabled are part of your community, specifically if that's a niche of yours, and even at the least go into that alt tag on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and type in a description of those photos. So you can do that on all the social media channels. If you're using a scheduling tool, simply once your photo is uploaded, go into edit mode and you'll find the option to add or update an alt tag there so that you too can make your content accessible. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've gotten any new ideas from the way Haben is promoting her book or using social media to demonstrate accessibility in ways that we perhaps have not been thinking about it before, I'd love to hear it. Drop it in the comments, and make sure to head on over to socialmediavault.com, where all episodes are placed and categorized by industry so you can catch up on past episodes. So if you know anybody that's doing amazing things on social media and you wonder how they're getting it all done, shoot them my way. Maybe that person is you, and they may just be demonstrated in a future week. I look forward to seeing you all back